I began my American Legion experience after I came home from rehabilitation. A landmine explosion in Vietnam caused 100% total disabilities. Some people would call it that. I don't, because I consider myself pretty active. Well, I was a basket case in so many words, and I really was. You probably would be too if you lost your legs or from your chest down. There was a World War II veteran that lived down the street from my parents who, and I knew him prior to me going into service, but the World War II vet, a member of the American Legion, lifetime member, knocked on the door, and he said to my mother, okay, I said, Mom, just get rid of him, any way you can. She asked if I was there. Read it in a newspaper, in an article, that I was home. And that went on and on and on for quite some time. Finally, I said, okay, I'm gonna talk to him. He came in, he said, look, he said, you could see the American Legion post from a porch where I lived in Lehman, Missouri. And you could look over there and there was a post. I can remember as a kid running the Easter egg hunts, running around as a kid collecting Easter eggs that the Legion post would sponsor. So he used to tell me those things, and he told me a few of those. I said, your Legion post is inaccessible. He said, you got 5 steps to get down. I know that. And I already checked it all out. I know you have 5 steps to an old house. And it's an active post. He said, well, let me tell you something. He said, we need your expertise. I said, what are you talking about? He said, your expertise and accessibility. He said, we can do away with those steps because we're going to tear the building down and build a brand new building. They brought out these plans in front of me and said, you need to do this, you need to do that, the bathrooms. And you know what? I started feeling it inside. Purpose in life, because I had none. That was this World War II vet's way of getting me to visit this Legion post. He immediately made me his assistant adjutant, and that was fine. An adjutant takes minutes, and it's a quick way to learn. Figured that out real quick. I noticed something. It didn't take me long to figure it out. I noticed that the commander, the person with the gavel, was the head person. And when people talk, they listen. So I thought, maybe I will be one of those commanders one of these days. A post commander. Well, it happened. So I had my eyes focused on district, American Legion, the next level up above the post. Became a district commander. I'll skip all them other things. Lots of meetings. People came to me with this. You could run for state commander. Through the chairs. And I thought, nah. I did it. Became state commander. I went out, formed an organization. I didn't do it alone. I had people help me. We formed an organization, raised money, and campaigned for 2 years. And I had a great committee. This great committee got me elected national commander. I didn't do it myself. And you talk about a great honor. It's one of the greatest honors I was ever bestowed on me in my lifetime. We are very, very fortunate in this country to have accessibility. And that deals with the American Disabilities Act, which was passed in 1991. Gosh dog it, I was honored as the national commander because the American Legion was involved with that act. We supported it, myself and Miles Zeppelin, another past national commander. We attended the groundbreaking, the signing of the American Disabilities Act. And George Bush signed that act. And now you look around, you see placards, you see parking lots. It's all enacted now. There's some things that are grandfathered, historical things. Some churches are grandfathered. But Overall, this is the only country that I know of that is totally accessible for people with disabilities. And I'm not just talking about people in wheelchairs, I'm talking about all people. And the American Legion can be proud to say that they were a part of that. These young people that are coming back now, today, they need our assistance. When I came back, I was a Vietnam vet, I mentioned earlier. I was a basket case, sure. And I snapped out of that, and thank God I did. Snapped out of that. And it could be because of the American Legion. In fact, I can just go off the limb, just say it. It was the American Legion. I worked for the VA and worked for Paralyzed Veterans of America. I had jobs, and they were good jobs, and I enjoyed them. But I always went back to that volunteerism of the American Legion.